So we've all, as I drove in this morning, the big topic now on every show, regardless of the show, is that the NBA has got a big problem on its hand because stars are sitting, and they're sitting not like just one guy, but like 3 or 4 stars. Cavs, Warriors are all sitting, Spurs, and they're sitting out of TV games. And I've said before, this is it's a protest by NBA players or coaches. I believe it has to do with the travel. I believe that the Warriors, the NBA is so top heavy, and they just signed this massive contract that the networks like TNT that have to pay $1 billion for a year are saying, give us the best teams. And so they're monkeying with the NBA schedule, and the Warriors travel schedule and the Cavs travel schedule is as bad as I've ever seen it. In fact, the Warriors are going to be on national TV before the playoffs 28 times. The Chicago Bulls were not on television half that in the Jordan years. They'd be on regular season TV 14 times. They got the Warriors on almost 30. And the Warriors and the Cavs and the Spurs are pushing back at the league. But it's interesting because I read Adam Silver quotes yesterday. He's the commissioner of the NBA. And one of his quotes was, this is not an easy solution. The science, remember that word, the science has gotten to the point where there is that direct correlation we're aware of between fatigue and injuries. So it's a science issue, is it? Well, you do get the science for football is you shouldn't play 16 games and then 4 exhibition games, but they do. You get the science is that hockey players have the same travel schedule, but with more fighting and violence. You do get the science says nobody should run a marathon, yet they had one in L.A. this weekend. They're not good for your body. The science says you should never eat sugar or flour or fast food. Drive up and down your city streets. It's everywhere. We don't live by science. Science tells us to do and not do a lot of things. If we regulated our country through science, there would be no beer allowed, no vodka, no bourbon, maybe a little wine. We would have no fast food at all. We would have no sugar or flour, white flour allowed. And we would not put our bodies through what we put our bodies through. We would not send our kids to war if we had a society based solely on science. We would not have high school, college, or professional football if it was science. This is not a science problem, folks. Adam Silver's wrong. It's a math problem. That my former employer in TNT spent $1.4 billion a year, tripling their current NBA rights deal. And because ain't a science thing, it's a math thing. And so the leagues now, the networks are saying, all right, you're making us pay 3 times this. We want the best teams. And the NBA is now putting the Warriors and the Cavs and the exciting teams on over and over, and the teams are pushing back. The Warriors are pushing back. LeBron's pushing back. The Bulls, D-Wade, stars are pushing back. So again, we're all into this science crap. If you lived your life by science, you would sleep 9 hours a day. Christine and I sometimes sleep 6, 5, 7 on the road. Less, fewer. The reality is we don't live by science. The also is contracts are about math, not science. The NBA can cut. The NFL can cut players. NBA can't. NBA guys can sit because they have guaranteed contracts. NFL guys don't because they'd get cut. This is about contracts and TV contracts and CBA agreements. The NBA is a players' league. The NFL is a shield league. But the idea, hockey guys, what's the science on hockey guys? They have 82 games and play back-to-back. They're not sitting because they don't have the leverage. This is not a science issue. It is a math and money and dollar issue. Christine with the news.